Hey Paul, welcome to Heart with Saima. How are you today?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for having me on there and listening to all of those words. I'm wondering where in the world I got those out of a dictionary or a wordsmith or something. It's a lot of big words. Bottom line, try to help companies be better than what they were before I'm done.
So, Paul, I don't know if you remember, but this was, I think, around 3 years ago when I walked into your meetup meeting, and I still remember myself walking into that meeting because I was like, okay, where am I? And I think that meetup of yours was actually about LinkedIn. And LinkedIn was something that I was focusing on, and I was, I've been in that growth phase where I've been growing and learning and evolving. And at that time, your meetup was about LinkedIn, and I was like, okay, you know what? Let me go and enhance my knowledge about LinkedIn. And when I went up the building and I saw the room, and I kind of stopped there for a few minutes, and I was like, and learning.
Well, I'd say the general statement is I have no plans to retire. I don't know what I would do with myself. My wife would probably want to kick me out of the house. It's an old joke. But reality is, if you don't have the opportunity to do something that helps people, helps yourself, helps you expand yourself, you stop growing. When you stop growing, you sit down, and once you sit down, it's not a pretty sight. So yes, I learn programs, I teach programs, etc. And as you mentioned, we do have a C-suite group, and by C-suite I mean the CXO groups. There's about 300 of us that meet together, and we drive each other to find business, but we also drive each other to learn more things. So I don't want to stop learning. I'm very aggressive, and you've seen that, you've heard that. Not going to stop. So if you're not going to stop, then you have to go do something. So now I want to go do something, whatever that might be.
I think it's just something amazing that happens to the brain, Paul. I think you reach a certain age where, and I think life happens to everyone, right? So you reach a certain age, and I think, that's that point where you are like, okay, either life is just going to stay where it is, and you're just on that path, no matter what that path is, or there's this fine line, and you say, okay, you know what? Whatever it takes, I'm just going to jump in, and whatever is waiting for me, whatever my destiny holds, I'm just going to, live, just changing. And, this is where the podcast is. When I started screaming, and, it's like, okay, I'm messaging people, okay, yeah, how do I do this? Why is my mic not working? Just like little things. And then you're like, okay, you know what? It will all work out, and you just keep growing.
Keep taking steps, and I'll give someone else a major piece for me. Many years ago, early in my career, I was a manager over quite a few people. We're talking about 22 years old, and I'm a manager over 100 people. And I go to the supervisor that I worked for, and I took him a problem a couple of different times. And finally he said, "Paul, sit down." He said, "I appreciate the fact that you're pointing out problems that need to be taken care of. But I've got several hundred people out there that could come in and tell me all the problems I need to look at. What I don't have, and what I want you to be, is the person that's going to come in and tell me, you've got a problem."
Personal aspect of your life. Something else that you wrote in your bio. You said, from being a foster home for 5 kids, polio, music, meeting my wife. So here's some of what you tell us more about the foster home that you referred to, the polio that you referred to, and something that I wanted to also do right here was I wanted to share a couple of your pictures here,
Uh,
which is these are just such beautiful pictures, and you've been married for 48 years. Wow, that's a
I
very
owe her
long.
my coverage. Isn't she beautiful?
She is, absolutely. She definitely is. Um, so share, tell us a little bit more about being a foster home and some of the things that you wrote.
Well, like I say, we all have our stories. When
Mhm.
my parents were, they were blue collar. They were not able to make ends meet, so they decided to become a foster home for Buckner's Orphanage Home. So we were assigned, or whatever they do that. I was just one of the kids around there at that time. They were approved to have 5 kids. So we, for several years, we had 5 foster kids that lived with us.
Said that, Paul, where can people reach you?
Well, I am on LinkedIn under Paul Whitley with C-Suite Support. I'm very easy to find from that standpoint. My email address is pwhitley@c-suitesupport.com. My personal email is mail, mail, @pwhitley.com. And my phone number is 214-477-6039. If I don't answer, I will get back to you. Maybe tied up on calls or working with companies, and may not be immediately available, but I will return the call and we'll see what we can do.
Paul, on that note, thank you for being on Heart to Heart with Saima. My purpose is very simple. It's just to touch lives, and I tell people, let's touch lives together. Wherever we can bring change, help people, and thank you for being here. Thank you for what you are doing, and having C-Suite with your doors open and have all these people who